Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you like this episode, please remember to hit the like button and leave a comment or two, then subscribe and click on the bell to receive notifications of whenever we release new videos. Also, please remember to share them to your social media.
Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. In today's episode, we travel to the wilderness surrounding Whitehorse, Yukon, Canada, where Paul Burbage's recent encounter with a grizzly bear serves as a reminder of the power and unpredictability of nature. Whitehorse, the capital of Yukon, lies in a remote and wild part of Canada, bordered by vast boreal forests, lakes, and mountains. This region is part of the larger subarctic ecosystem, which supports diverse wildlife and offers endless opportunities for outdoor enthusiasts. The landscape around Whitehorse is rugged, filled with forests of white spruce, quaking aspen, and lodgepole pine, interspersed with meadows and muskeg. Elevations range from 2,300 feet in Whitehorse to much higher peaks in the surrounding mountains. The Yukon is also known for its wild berries, such as blueberries, currants, and crowberries, which attract wildlife, including bears, during late summer and fall. The area is part of bear territory, where bears roam freely, searching for food to build fat reserves during hyperphagia. Human encounters with bears are increasing as bears search for easy food sources near towns, making preparation essential for anyone exploring the outdoors. The Yukon wilderness is a haven for wildlife, with grizzly bears among the most iconic species. Other animals include black bears, moose, caribou, Dall sheep, and wolves. Grizzly bears are drawn to berry-laden shrubs such as blueberries and bearberries, along with salmon spawning streams during the late summer and fall. Their habitat overlaps with that of smaller animals, like snowshoe hares and grouse, which are often the targets of hunters, like Burbage. On October 7, 2024, Paul Burbage was preparing to take his dog for a walk, as he did each day. He was an experienced outdoorsman and hunter who often enjoyed the wilderness around Whitehorse and the peace it offered him. Now, Burbage was no dummy when it came to visiting bear country, given he lived in bear country. On this outing, Burbage carried a .22 rifle, hoping to find some grouse along the way. He also carried bear spray. Having completed bear safety training, Burbage knew how to handle potentially dangerous encounters. Despite his experience, nothing could fully prepare him for what happened next, a life-or-death encounter with an aggressive grizzly bear that would test his nerves, equipment, and training. While walking along a narrow trail, Burbage heard a loud huff from a nearby bush. He turned to see a large grizzly standing just 10 meters away. Expecting the bear to retreat, Burbage paused and a short staring contest began. After several tense seconds, the bear charged straight toward him, breaking brush and scattering saplings. The bear stopped just a few feet away, pounding the ground and making it clear that Burbage's presence was unwelcome. Using his rifle, Burbage tried to nudge the bear away, but the bear became more aggressive. Burbage knew the bear was trying to make up its mind on what it should do. It seemed to be considering attacking him or fleeing, but in a moment he could see the bear had made its decision. Burbage raised his grouse hunting rifle to his shoulder and fired at the bear. The rifle report startled the bear, and Burbage took the opportunity to reach for his bear spray. Just as the bear started closing the distance again, Burbage pressed the button on his can of bear spray. The orange cloud fogged from the can and settled in as a noxious barrier between the hunter and the bear. As the irritant permeated the mucosal membranes of the bear's eyes and nose, its effect took hold. Between the visual presence of the bear spray and the irritant effects of it, the bear turned and dashed back into the forest. Once I had the bear spray out, I was confident it would work, Burbage said, relieved that his training had paid off. Burbage managed to escape the encounter unscathed, thanks to his quick thinking and preparedness. Though the bear returned briefly after the rifle shot, the bear spray ultimately ended the encounter, demonstrating its effectiveness. Burbage credits his safety to the training he received in proper bear spray use, emphasizing the importance of preparation. It's not enough to carry bear spray, he explained. You need to know how to use it properly. The incident was clearly a case of a surprise encounter which the bear reacted to in a way that preserved its own life, as well as Burbidge's. There was no reported animal carcass cached nearby, nor the presence of cubs. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. The Yukon is home to an estimated 6,000 to 7,000 grizzly bears, which inhabit both remote wilderness and areas near towns. As the bear population stabilizes and human activity increases, bear encounters are becoming more frequent. Yukon officials stress that bear spray is the most effective tool for deterring aggressive bears, even more so than firearms. Studies show that bear spray works 92% of the time in deterring attacks, compared to the lower success rate of firearms. According to Jim Welsh, Yukon's hunter education officer, very few people are skilled enough to effectively use a firearm in close encounters, especially when faced with an aggressive animal. Officials also stress the importance of being proactive in bear safety, including traveling in groups, whenever possible, to make more noise and avoid surprise encounters. Store food properly, and keep campsites clean to avoid attracting bears. Practice using bear spray before going into the bush, as encounters can escalate quickly. Even though some of these guidelines did not apply in Burbidge's case, they're the most reliable methods used to avoid bear attacks. There are two primary bear species in the Yukon, grizzly bears and black bears. Grizzlies are larger and more aggressive, particularly mothers with cubs, while black bears tend to avoid human interaction. Bear-related incidents have been increasing as bears wander closer to population areas, often searching for food scraps. In the Yukon, there are several bear attacks reported annually, but the majority end without fatalities, thanks to the use of bear spray and other preventative measures. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Should bear safety courses become mandatory for hunters and outdoor enthusiasts in bear-prone regions? What role does climate change play, if any, in increasing bear-human encounters, as bears' natural food resources fluctuate? How can communities further promote safe coexistence with wildlife to reduce conflicts between people and bears? Paul Burbidge's encounter is a stark reminder of the value of preparation when venturing into bear country. His quick thinking and proper use of bear spray saved him from what could have been a much worse outcome. Let this story serve as a lesson to always carry bear spray, and most importantly, know how to use it. I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. In today's episode, we head to the rugged Carpathian Mountains of Romania. This range varies in elevation from above 900 feet at the foothills to over 8,300 feet at the peak of its highest mountain, Moldoveanu Peak. With a broad array of topography, including rolling hills, high ridges, deep gorges, and alpine zones, the Carpathians host diverse ecosystems. In the 1970s, the Romanian government developed a scenic highway through the mountain range and named the route the Transfăgărașan Road. It winds its way through 62 miles of breathtaking views, one after the other, leading to bucolic locations like Bălea Lake and Capra Waterfall. Visitors are fully immersed in the majesty and untouched wilderness of the Romanian Carpathians. The forests here include evergreens like fir and spruce trees, with deciduous trees like beech trees increasing the speciation. Along bodies of water, berry plants like blueberry, blackberry, raspberry, and lingonberries grow, providing delicious and nutritious fruits to forest visitors. Beautiful flowers like edelweiss and bellflowers in the meadows decorate the land and lend their aroma to the breeze. Now, if you've viewed our episodes before, you will know that the setting is as important as the story's outcome. A location as beautiful as the Carpathians draws tourists from around the world. The range is known for its striking beauty and rich biodiversity, making it a prime destination for wildlife enthusiasts and nature lovers. Visitors can glimpse red deer in the meadows and chamois on the cliffs, but special attention should be paid to the predators here. Brown bears, one of the most iconic inhabitants of this region, have seen their populations rise steadily thanks to conservation efforts. However, with this resurgence has come an increase in dangerous bear-human encounters. Romania, home to Europe's largest population of brown bears, has seen growing tension between people and bears, particularly in areas where bears are drawn to human activity in search of food. In mid-April of 2024, 72-year-old Myra Gallaer and her friend Charmaine Widdowson were living out their planned vacation to the Carpathians. They were visiting from Scotland and prepared for the weather. Mara wore a double layer of clothing beneath a thick Marks & Spencer jacket for added warmth. They were traveling the scenic highway near the Vidreroo Dam when they managed to spot a sow brown bear with 2 yearling cubs. Stopping their car near the bears, the women rolled down Charmaine's window to snap a few close-up photos of the Bruin bunch, and the sow charmingly posed for the photos, then retreated a few yards away. Thinking the photo opportunity was over, the women drove further down the road, before deciding they didn't like the photos they'd taken, and turned back to see if they could get better pics. Now approaching from the opposite direction, the sow and cubs were on Mora's side of the car, and still very near where they were initially spotted by the women. A mature brown bear sow from this area can weigh between 440 pounds and 700 pounds, with power well beyond their size, and speed to match. Pulling to within a few yards of the sow and her cubs, Mora and Charmaine decided to roll down the window to get a great photo of the bear, but the sow had run out of patience at this point. Likely expecting a scrap of food for her presence, the sow slowly stepped toward the vehicle occupied by the women. Mora carefully positioned herself, with her arm on the edge of her window so that she could get herself and the bear in the same photo. That is when things took an unpredictable turn, as they often do when it comes to bears. After approaching the vehicle, the sow quickly lunged toward Mora, latching onto her arm with its long, sharp claws. Mora's protective jacket was shredded by the bear's teeth and claws, as it tried to pull her from the vehicle, before attempting to pull itself inside with the women. Screaming in terror, the only thing they could do was yell and hope the bear would release Mora's arm before tearing it from her body. In a short but frenzied attack, the sow left deep gashes on Mora's arm before retreating. In the scramble, Mora lost her phone, but that was the least of her worries at the time. She felt her blood trickling from the wounds inflicted by the bear, and the women hurriedly drove away, knowing they would need to get Mora medical attention immediately. After arriving at a nearby hospital, Mora was treated for lacerations and trauma to her arm. It was fortunate that her jacket was as large as it was, as it seemed to have borne the brunt of the bear's jaws. Her injuries were considered non-life-threatening, but the lessons learned were difficult nonetheless. After a 2-day observation of her injuries to watch for infection, Mora was released to heal at home. Following her attack, Mora indicated that she was a very lucky woman, as her injuries could have been, and likely should have been, worse than they were. Her run-in with the sow and cubs was added to the growing tally of bear conflicts in the Carpathians. With each incident reported, increased pressure is placed on local lawmakers to extend bear hunting season and harvest quotas to balance populations with human safety. Brown bears are typically shy creatures, but like most wildlife, they are opportunistic when food is scarce or even available. In the case of Mora's attack, the mother bear may have been drawn to the scent of food in the area, or was simply defending her cubs. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes, and the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. The situation escalated quickly because Mora's attempt to take a selfie distracted her from the risks of being so close to wild animals. Bears, particularly mothers with cubs, are known to become aggressive when they feel threatened. As tourism increases in regions like the Carpathians, so do bear encounters. Studies have shown that a significant number of bear attacks involve female bears protecting their young. In Mora's case, the bear likely acted out of a protective instinct. Mora's bear encounter brings attention to a growing issue, the danger of selfies with wildlife. In recent years, selfies have become a surprisingly common cause of injury or death in wilderness areas. A study from the University of New South Wales found that since 2008 there have been nearly 400 selfie-related deaths, many involving dangerous encounters with animals. Mora's experience serves as a reminder that no photo is worth risking your life for. Maura Gallagher's close call serves as a stark reminder of the risks involved in attempting to get too close to wildlife. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. As bear populations grow, what balance must be struck between conservation and human safety? Would bear spray or a firearm have prevented the attack on Maura? Do you think there's a disconnect between people who visit wilderness areas and the dangers the animals represent there? I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it. Welcome back to Scary Bear Attacks. Today's episode takes us to the remote woods of Siren, Wisconsin. Siren, located in Burnett County, is a small rural community surrounded by dense forests and lakes. This region is part of the Western Coulees and Ridges ecological landscape, known for rolling hills, river valleys, and forests. The area's topography was shaped by glacial activity, resulting in forests, wetlands, and prairies, alongside rivers and streams, making it a prime location for outdoor activities like hiking, fishing, and hunting. The vegetation around Siren includes oak hickory and maple basswood forests, as well as wetland species such as cattails and swamp white oaks. The area's wildlife is diverse, with species like white-tailed deer, wolves, black bears, and other animals thriving in the woods. On September 6, 2024, 43-year-old Ryan Bierman was enjoying a bear hunting trip with Owen, his 12-year-old son. Ryan was an experienced outdoorsman and father of two living in River Falls, Wisconsin. On this particular hunting trip, he was joined by his son Owen, who had already developed a passion for hunting. With a bear hunting permit in hand, Owen hoped to harvest a bear for the first time. The two set out together, armed with a handgun and Owen's hunting rifle, excited for a father-son outing. The Biermans had set out a bear bait station, which is legal in select states, including Wisconsin, Idaho, Wyoming, Utah, Minnesota, Michigan, Oklahoma, Arkansas, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Maine, and Alaska, with the remaining 38 states having banned it, according to the Humane Society website. Following the required guidelines for establishing a bear bait station, they regularly stock it with bait to bring in bears and likely surveil the bears approaching the bait station with automatic game cameras. This allows hunters to determine the size and traits of bears feeding at the bait stations. The Biermans owned a family cabin just outside of Siren, where they'd set up their bait station. Observing from an elevated tree stand, the Biermans would spend the majority of the day waiting for bears to come into the bait station. About 6 p.m., Owen spotted a bear slipping through the shadows of the forest toward the bait. This was the moment he was waiting for, and he drew down on the bear's vital area with his rifle, waiting for the optimal moment to dispatch it. He slowly squeezed the trigger, and the report of the rifle roared as it kicked against his shoulder. Being an inexperienced bear hunter, Owen had mistakenly shot the bear in a place that was not immediately fatal to the animal. He peered over the rifle as the bear disappeared into the forest, hoping to watch it tumble in its death throes. Ryan and Owen were overjoyed with the thought of a successful harvest of the bear. They knew better than dashing into the forest after the bear, and waited 20 minutes before taking up the blood trail. At that point, they implemented the second phase of their plan to harvest a bear. They brought out the neighbor's dog to help them track the bear, and it picked up the blood trail quickly. As they navigated their way through the forest, the Biermans became encumbered in a thick patch of bushes. They worked their way through it, with Ryan emerging before his son into a small clearing. Just as they emerged, the neighbor's dog yelped from the brush on the far side and dashed past them in a hasty retreat. Seeing the dark shape of the bear in the brush, Ryan muttered, "There he is, Owen." Immediately after that, the angry and wounded bear emerged only 6 feet from the hunters and closed in on them with blinding speed. Now Ryan wasn't ill-prepared for a close-range encounter with the bear, as he held his sidearm in his hand as the bear closed in on him. Firing 8 shots as quickly as he could, Ryan hoped to stop the bear in its tracks, but missed each shot. The next thing Ryan was aware of, he was on his back and could only see the bear's teeth and claws. He pulled his right arm up over his head to block the bear's bite and heard the crunch of his bones as it closed its mouth on his arm. Still holding his pistol, Ryan pistol-whipped the bear about the head. Aiming for the area between the bear's ear and jaw, he hoped to knock it unconscious, if not kill it, but it was like hitting a brick wall. From Ryan's perspective, the bear was a tornado of slashing claws and snapping jaws. It bit him all over his body so quickly that the only way he knew the bear's location was by the pain from its bites and strikes. Kicking at the bear, Ryan felt its teeth punch into the flesh of his leg and then begin to rip into his abdomen. After biting and tearing at his stomach, the bear turned its attack to his head and latched onto his cheek. As the bear ripped a ribbon of flesh from his face, Ryan's eyes turned and registered a flash from the muzzle of Owen's rifle. Thinking the end was very near, Ryan suddenly felt the bear go limp as it collapsed on top of him. Now realizing the worst was over, Ryan struggled to push the bear's mass from atop himself. Blood seeped from deep gashes and bites on his arm, legs, abdomen, and face, but he was alive, and his son had saved his life. Realizing that Ryan would need immediate medical help, Owen helped his father locate his eyeglasses. He guided his father out of the woods and back to their cabin. Once the hunters arrived, neighbors converged to provide first aid while they loaded him aboard a vehicle. They immediately drove toward the Grantsburg emergency room when they ran into the ambulance part way to their goal. The medics on the ambulance put Ryan on a litter and loaded him aboard to ferry him the rest of the way to the hospital. While at the hospital, Ryan received 23 stitches to reattach the flap of skin on his cheek, as well as having his gashes and puncture wounds cleaned and sutured. From his hospital bed, Ryan called his wife on his cell phone. Upon hearing the details of the attack, she initially didn't believe what he told her, thinking it was some kind of yarn. Ryan indicates that the facts of his attack are indisputable because he has the scars to prove it. After all the medical stuff was taken care of, Ryan and Owen were allowed to claim the bear's carcass. They're considering how they're going to have it mounted as a keepsake to commemorate their bear hunt and the amazing story behind it. Ryan indicates that he's already planning their next bear hunt, and nothing will keep him from doing what he enjoys with his son. Regarding the bear's motives for its attack, it was defending itself from the hunters. Although it was approaching a food source, it didn't attack Ryan out of defense of its food. There is no source indicating that cubs were present at any point in the confrontation. Speaking of cubs, our Cub Tier membership on Patreon, linked below, will give you ad-free early access to our episodes. And the $3 per month goes a long way in helping me continue to produce educational and entertaining content like this. The state of Wisconsin is reportedly home to 24,000 black bears, over its 65,000 square miles. This is a black bear density of 1 black bear for every 2.7 square miles, including urban areas. From 2013 to 2022, there were 9 recorded bear attacks in the state. There has never been a fatal bear attack in the state of Wisconsin. After reviewing the facts surrounding this episode, I'm left with a few questions for you. Should hunters carry more powerful firearms when they're hunting or tracking dangerous game? What role does calmness under pressure play in life or death situations, like Owen's rescue of his father? How can hunting practices be improved to reduce the chances of dangerous encounters like this one? This incredible story of survival reminds us of the importance of preparation and quick thinking in the wilderness. Thanks to Owen's bravery and calm response, both he and his father walked away from what could have been a fatal encounter. I will gladly read and reply to your thoughts, so post them in the comments section below, and let's talk about it.
Thank you for watching Scary Bear Attacks. If you've enjoyed this episode, please consider clicking on the like button and clicking on the bell icon. We'll help you know when we post our new episodes. Posting our video links to your social media profiles furthers awareness, and it's fun. We slashed our prices in our merch store, linked below, so check out the bargains there while you shop. As a member of our human community, remember to adventure bravely and be careful out there, especially in bear country.